this is. Now, I just want to touch real quick on the whole Marjorie Harvey and her ex husband, who is now serving a life sentence for his participating in a large quantity cocaine distributing conspiracy. Now, Marjorie Harvey, for those of you who don't know, is the now wife of the great comedian, actor, TV show host, Steve Harvey. Now, it's coming out that she had a past that she tried to hide. Now, I don't look at it like that, man. We all have a past, you know. Now, Tim Allen, the home improvement guy, the well known actor, you know, he had a past with where he dealt with large quantity cocaine, you know, within his city of Detroit, within his state of Michigan, you know, and it's nothing wrong with the past that you have, man. It's all about the future that you make now. Now, this isn't a disrespectful video that I'm putting on to Marjorie Harvey. You know, shout out to her. Shout out to Steve Harvey. Shout out to all the Harveys. But I just want to go over the paperwork real quick, you know, that stemmed out of Memphis, Tennessee. You know, now this is the paperwork of United States of America versus Hazel Little and James Jimmy L. Townsend for their distribution and possession of cocaine with intent to distribute within Tennessee and many other states. Now, in September 1987, Townsend was contacted by Bernice Turner about the possibility of purchasing a kilo of cocaine. Now, Townsend agreed to make the sale, and he and Turner arranged to meet at a convenience store near Turner's home. Turner arrived at the store at the arranged time, but Hazel Little arrived in Townsend's place, driving a red Jeep registered in Townsend's wife's name, which was Marjorie Harry at the time. Now, Little and Turner then proceeded to go to Turner's home, where Little gave Turner 1 kilogram of cocaine. They agreed that Turner would pay Little 29,000 when Turner was paid by her own cocaine dealers. Now, Little then left the place. Now, Little arrived and departed with a witness, Officer David McGriff of the Shelby County, which is Memphis, Tennessee. He was there in a van that was parked 200 feet from the home. You know, he was surveillance the home the whole time. You know, and he had not yet been able to set up his videotaping equipment, but he was still used as a witness within the whole of all of this, you know. Now, Turner immediately called her cocaine dealers after Little's departure, and they promptly arrived at her home. One of those buyers, however, was a DEA agent named Richard Swain, who placed Turner under arrest. Now, Turner agreed to cooperate with Swain and two other DEA agents that were present, and one of them made a recorded phone call to Little, during which she stated that the 29,000 was ready. Now, the agents in fact had brought 29,000 in a Crown Royal whiskey bag. After Turner hung up, the agents hid themselves to observe Little's return. Now, when Little arrived and was given the money in the Crown Royal bag, she then left Turner's home and was arrested by Lieutenant Mitch Donovan of the Shelby County Sheriff's Department as she drove away in a Jeep. Now, Donovan found a loaded 38 caliber revolver and several documents that was in Townsend's name and in the Crown Royal bag that containing the $29,000. They were all found within there too that tied him to that. You know, now on the second arrival is when the videotape started by the officer who didn't have it set up in the first place. Now, this thing was a result to an investigation that started in October of 1990. Now, an officer named Hart believed that the FBI had sufficient material in hand to approach Mr. Townsend to see if he would cooperate in some other cases that they were looking at. Now, Hart therefore prepared an affidavit for a search warrant of Townsend's home. Hart, however, decided to approach Townsend before he applied for the warrant, because any public record of a warrant could have jeopardized Townsend's future participation in undercover FBI activities. So in other words, they was trying to get him to snitch, but Who knows if he did? Who knows if he didn't? You know what I'm saying? Now, let's keep on reading. Let's keep on reading. Now, Hart and other officers arrived at Townsend's home the morning of October 23rd of 1990. There they asked Townsend for his cooperation in other FBI investigations. The parties agree that the officers were extremely cordial to the Townsends throughout their encounter. Now, Hart, however, told Townsend that if he did not cooperate, he would suffer the following consequences. One, he would be arrested and the government would oppose his bail request. Two, the government would press for the longest sentence possible, which might be life imprisonment, which he got. So I'm guessing he didn't cooperate. Or three, Hart would get a search warrant for his house. Four, his wife, Marjorie Harvey, would be arrested, as the agents believed they had substantial evidence of her own illegal activities. So basically what they're saying is, man, we got your wife doing some things, now maybe it wasn't too much with the drugs or anything like that, but maybe it was more so the laundering of the money, like the knowing of the things. I don't too much think that she had her hands on any drugs because they would have came and got her anyway. You know what I'm saying? Now, they are saying that Marjorie Harvey was involved in her own illegal activities. Now, they saying her own illegal activities, which means that she had her own thing going on, which, like I said, I don't too much think that she was dealing her own bricks. Well, she was probably a middleman and setting people up to make some money and, as far as making it on her own. But, hey, who knows? But, or in five, his young daughter would be taken into juvenile court as both of her parents would be in jail. Some crazy options that it gave that man. Now, Hart further told Townsend that if he chose to cooperate, he would enjoy the following benefits. One, he would not be arrested then, but rather sometime in the future. That's crazy, huh? Now, two, his wife would not be arrested at all. Three, his daughter would not have to be taken to juvenile court because her parents won't be arrested. Now, four would be the government will file a cooperation statement on his behalf, which might reduce his sentence to 10 years instead of the life sentence that he now has. But I'm guessing he didn't choose that either. Now, the district court found that Townsend was given the opportunity to call an attorney, but was told that all deals were off if he did so. And Townsend did not call an attorney. So I'm guessing he cooperated and then recanted his statements, and I don't know. Let's keep reading to find out. Now Townsend expressed reluctance to cooperate and was allowed to confer along with his wife. She told him that Hart was full of it. Marjorie told him that, the detective was full of it, and vigorously argued that he should refuse to cooperate. So Margie was a real one, man. Margie is a real one, man. She's solid. She kept it solid. She telling her dude, man, you better not tell, regardless of what they telling you, bro. You better not make no statements, man. I'm telling you, because that ain't the type of dude that I want to be around. So I'm guessing Steve, a old solid dude as well. If she chose him to be with him. So, but shout out to Steve, shout out to Marjorie for even telling him something like that, man, because that's real, man, especially coming from a woman. You know what I'm saying? To let you know the type of woman she is, man. She had that heart about her. But hey, now Hart was also allowed Townsend to read the affidavit he had prepared, which detailed the FBI's evidence of Townsend's drug trafficking. So he basically let him see the evidence of what he had against him. You know what I'm saying? To make him kind of more lean towards of wanting to cooperate. Now Townsend reservation persisted, however, and he asked to speak with Timothy, which was the assistant United States attorney that was assigned to the investigation. Now arrangements were made for Townsend and Timothy to meet in the parking lot of a nearby Shoney's restaurant in Memphis, Tennessee. Now during this meeting, which lasted about 20 minutes, Timothy essentially told Hart what he had told Townsend earlier. And when they left, Townsend returned to his home with the detective Hart. Now, Townsend then agreed to cooperate with Hart. He signed a consent to search form and said that he wished to give a statement. The district court found that Townsend was given Miranda warnings before he gave his statement. Townsend made an 8-page statement to Hart, which detailed his extensive drug trafficking activities over the prior several years. Meanwhile, the other officers searched his home. Now, consistent with their agreement with the authorities, neither Townsend nor his wife Marjorie were arrested that day. Now, 7 months later, however, Townsend apparently refused to continue to cooperate, and he consent, and that's when he was given life when he was indicted alongside with Little. Now, before that trial stood, Townsend filed a motion to suppress both his statement and the evidence seized during the search. Now, Little filed a motion for a separate trial. The district judge denied these motions. The trial proceeded, and the jury found Townsend and Little guilty on both counts. Both defendants then filed motions for judgment of acquittal or new trial. These motions were denied. The district judge then sentenced Little and sentenced Townsend after holding a hearing concerning his prior state court convictions. Now, these appeals followed by the defendants at April 28th, uh, about 10 something years ago, and they were still denied. They were still denied parole. Now that is the paperwork of Marjorie Harvey's ex husband, who is put out in the media right now to be this big time drug kingpin, which I don't know if somebody's working with 1 kilogram was a big time drug kingpin, especially not in the 90s in Memphis. Come on, man. Like, a big time drug kingpin, man, you got to be like Craig Pettis type to even be considered one of them, especially in that city. But he was probably just a dude that was doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? That was doing his thing, man. I don't want too much. I feel like Marjorie Harvey was probably grinding harder than what he was. You know what I'm saying? It's just he got caught in the mix of some other rats that put him in the mix that police kind of targeted him to make them want him instead of the people that they already had in the get go. But hey, man, it is what it is, man. But that's the paperwork. Shout out to Marjorie Harvey. Shout out to Steve Harvey.